So going into my first college game ever against TCU, I returned this kickoff return, hit that left sideline and put on the Jets. I was trying to put on the shirt early. Bench, man, it just goes through your head, man. Is this really worth it, man? Is this what you want to do in life, man? And this is what I want to do, so I'm going to dedicate myself to it. So coach finally puts me in the game, and he puts me into block. And I promise your time is coming, King. But I get this punt return and nearly get tripped up, and I almost saw daylight. But we go up 10-3, and I'm still on the bench, and I'm just watching my team drive down the field. They are just exposing this TCU defense. And being a player that I am rooting my team on. I've never been selfish and always been a team player. So we end them the old-fashioned way, and we go on to win 23-17 in my first college game ever. So going into my second college football game, I started off early, intense, and hit that left sideline and broke a couple tackles and almost kept going for 6. I'm now on that starting lineup and getting my first carry against UAB. I toted that ball early on, and I'm running downhill, and I will run through you, and I was fired up. And they don't know how excited I am to be out there, so I hit them with a juke and keep going. Oh my god. Those two on the ground just look like fools. But as you can see, I run coast to coast and I will run through you. But as you can see, I gain yards and almost stretch it for the box. But I give the ball to the ref. In the very next play, we have an inside zone and I just tiptoe in for 6, my first touchdown of my college career. And I'm a special teams All-American, so I get this punt return and hit a little juke and go to that left side. And I see nothing but green grass, and I will take it all the way for 6. Going into this next play, I catch the ball out of the backfield, and I just hit this DB with a meanest stiff arm ever, and I hit a sweet spin move and almost keep going down that sideline. As you can see, we get back down to that goal line, and coach know who to feed. So he getting the ball inside zone, I score another touchdown. I end the game off with 18 carries, 111 yards, 31 receiving yards, and 3 total TDs. So going into my third game of the season against Kent State, we started off intense early on. As you can see, I'm running it straight up that middle. And I am a special teams All-American. So as you see, I break this tackle and hit this sideline and almost break for 6. But I get hawked down, and I'm like, man, I could have had a touchdown if I would have put the Jets on. But I stay hungry and didn't let back. As you can see, we were down 7-0, and I get a stretch play, and I completely outrun this whole defense and go all the way for 6. Being 6'3", 230, I would get out of the way too. I'm running downhill and I get the first down. But going into the next play, I had a stretch play and I get up the field and redirect myself. And oh my god, I almost break, but I get hauled. But that doesn't matter because I go down and capitalize on the goal line and take us up 14-7. And I'm fired up. But going into the next play, knowing me trying to be the next Leonard Fournette, we have an inside zone and I'm running that ball as hard as I can. And I am toting that ball and I tap my helmet and tell coach that I need a break, and he takes me over to the sideline. But I come back in on the goal line and going for another touchdown a game to take us up 21-7 against Kent State. The guys are fired up, but as you can see, I'm a special teams All-American. They don't call me Flash for no reason because I hit that left sideline, and I see nothing but green grass, and I take it all the way to the box. And the crowd is fired up, and it's firing me up because that LSU fan base is so fired up. But as you can see, I get another hard run, and then going into that next play, I lay the boom on this kid. We drive down to the goal line and score another touchdown. And just call me Mike Tober when I'm coming through because I am a load to bring down. As you can see, they cannot bring me down, and I get a nice little game. Knowing my story and where I come from, I go down and I am injured. But they just took me to the 10 and checked me up, and things were good. But I got player of the game with 23 carries, 156 yards, and 5 total TDs. Going into our rival game against Auburn, it started off hot. I caught the ball out of the backfield, and I am laying a boom on these defenders early on. And I told my mom I'm gonna let them fill me the whole game. And it's just starting to get scary on special team. The opposing team is now scared when I am back there that I will break loose, and I hit that left sideline and get tackled. But going into this next play, knowing I'm not going to come down easy, get a screen play, and he ditch it off to me, and I break one tackle, and then I break another tackle, and almost break loose for 6. That Auburn defense was rallying the ball. That LSU offensive line was anchoring down early on, and I was hitting those holes, and when I see you, I'm going to lower my shoulder, so watch out. But going into the next play, we get a read option, and he pitches it to me, and I hit that sideline. I just outrun these defenders, and I finally get tackled. And for a minute there, it looked like I was gone, but he finally shoved me out of bounds. Getting into the NFL, catching the ball out of the backfield is a huge factor, so I'm catching the ball out of the backfield, and I try to hit a juke, but he sits me down. Hitting these holes all night, I was not playing, but I got tripped up. That would have been a huge game. But as you can see, I run that ball hard and physical for my first touchdown of the game. Let's go! And I told coach to keep them Tigers rolling, and I am rolling. And I'm fired up with my teammate, but as you can see, I get a stretch play on this next play, and I break a tackle and I almost break loose, but I get tackled. On the last play of the game, I laid a boom on this defender to let him fill me. We going to beat our rival Auburn 38-21, and I ended the game 19 carries, 139 yards, and 1 rushing TD. So going against our next game against number 5 Georgia, I started off intense and I let them know that I am here early. And if you didn't want to be physical with me, you shouldn't be here. As you see on this read option, he pitches it and I totally make this DB miss. And oh my God, I almost break for 6. I just think Georgia didn't come to play today. I did, but as you can see how huge of a fact I am catching that ball out of the backfield, I take it down to the goal line. As you know, I go to the bench, but we capitalize on the touchdown. But going into the next play, we have a jet option. And I see nothing but green grass in a box in the crowd, and I'm gone for 6. And when I didn't have that ball, I made sure to protect my quarterback. You see, I step up in the pocket and pick up that DN, and oh my God, I had him. And at this point, I'm running through defenders. I stiff arm one, and they ankle tackle me. And that left sideline is just my best friend. I hit that left sideline on its jet option, and I about go for 6, but I get hauled. And I'm coming for respect. And this number 14 here will go viral on Twitter. I stiff arm the mess out of him. It's fourth quarter, 1 minute, 26-19, and I'm still giving Georgia a hard time as I hit this hole inside zone and almost going for 6. But we're going to win 26-19 as I get player of the game and end the game off with 16 carries, 198 yards, and 1 TD. So going into our next game wasn't just a big game against Mississippi State, but it was the SEC conference game. And early on special teams, I tried to find a hole to hit and almost broke free, but I got tackled. And starting off early with the stretch, I'm trying to find a way to break loose, but I just couldn't. And early on, that Mississippi State defense was rallying that ball. But that didn't stop me. The LSU O-line started to anchor down, and I started to find holes, and I'm just running past people and trying to get into that end zone. Coach takes a timeout, and I'm dapping up my teammate. And it's first and goal on that goal line, and I have an inside zone play, and Mississippi State defense isn't going for it. They stuffed this run up. I told the quarterback no, and he tempoed it, and I say run that same exact play, and he did, and I ran it in for the first touchdown of the game, and that takes us up 7-0. But I am gassed before I get in that end zone. I take it in and set the ball down in meaning of disrespect. And I told him I'm going for Heisman. I had a jet option right here, and the hole was so wide open. I only have one man to beat, and I didn't beat him to that end zone. And I go down for my second time of the season. I come back in the second quarter with 2 minutes to go, and I have a kickoff return, and that left sideline is my best friend, and I hit that sideline, and I'm gone and all the way for a 76-yard return. I got tackled, but I'm like, man, I could have had him, but my left ankle is still sprained. I'm going high like I could fly, jump over the defender and get flipped over into the end zone. And I'm fired up with my teammates, and we go on to beat Mississippi State 31-24 as we end them the old-fashioned way. And we're fired up as I end off with 16 carries, 121 yards, and 2 rushing TDs. So going into our rival game against the Florida Gators started off a little shaky. Knowing you got to come out hot to beat this team. But with that being said, I came out with a nice run and spent the wrong way. I'm just in my head the whole game. We draw down the field and get down to the goal line, and we have a read option, and he pitches it to me, and I walk in the end zone for the touchdown. Trying to get things started, I get an outside zone, and I take it for about 7 yards. I'm trying to get that momentum up being 7-0. But I go to QB and have a QB draw, and that defense was rallying that ball all night. Going into this next play, I'm never down. As you can see, I run around out of the backfield. I catch the ball and they bring me down. I'm laying on top of them, and I get back up and try to keep going, but he tackles me again. But you see, I catch another route out of the backfield and completely run this linebacker over. I keep going, but I get tackled. I'm attacking them all night, and I'm keeping my foot on that pedal as I catch another pass in the end zone for another touchdown. So we'll go 14-7. I have an inside zone, and I completely run through this defender and keep get rallied by some defenders. And I'm getting up with that heart, knowing that I am going to go for that Heisman this year. As you can see, it is now 14 up, and I'm still keeping that foot on that pedal, and I'm just running through defenders. But that Florida Gators defense, that didn't stop them from rallying that ball. They was all over our quarterback all night. That frustrated me. I had another QB draw, but they blitzed, and oh my God, it's a tackle for loss. Things are just not going as planned. The quarterback gets sacked, and coach put me on that bench. But I came back out hot out of that backfield, catch the pass, and I broke one tackle. Oh my God, I break another tackle, and I'm running down that sideline, and boom, I almost laid the boom on them. But the Florida Gators take the lead with 6 seconds left on the clock, and it is now 28-21. What are we gonna do? There are no running backs out there, so coach puts me on the bench, and he throws the slant. He made a horrible decision doing that, and it is now 1 second on the clock, and we used our timeout. Coach put me back in, and I have him beat, and he didn't throw my way, and the quarterback gets sacked. The Florida Gators are fired up. They go on to beat us 28-21. But this loss right here is really gonna hurt us. But I end the game off with 15 carries, 74 yards, and 1 rushing TD. Going into our next game against Ole Miss. I mean, they were rallying that ball early. I couldn't find no hole to hit. I was getting crushed. This defensive lineman got a good pass rush in and knocked our offensive lineman into me, and I just fell down. I mean, this defensive back laid the boom on me and knocked my screws loose. We're going into the next play. We had a read option, and he pitched it, and I hit that sideline, and I'm looking for anybody to run over. And this number 21 didn't come with it. He didn't want any contact. And I told him to come on. But going into this halfback draw, I broke a tackle, and then I just gave this DB a mean stiff arm. And that was personal. When you come against me, you better come with respect. But not only that, I'm a threat running that ball, but I'm also a threat catching it out of the backfield. If you come down, you better come with it. But going into the inside zone, I break a tackle, then I juke, weave. The safety came down and drilled me. But I got up clapping my hands because I wanted all the smoke. And this is the slowest start to the game that I've ever had. I finally get down to the goal line, and I just hurdle right into the end zone. We're going to beat Ole Miss 24-3. As you can see, I ended the game off of 19 carries, 74 yards, and 1 TD. So going into our next game was the biggest game of the season. We were going against number 1 Alabama. I started off intense. I started off pounding early on. I was finding holes to hit, and I was just hitting them all night. But I was juking and weaving, doing whatever I could do to get to that end zone. And I was on special teams, and I hit that left sideline, and I almost broke for 6. I ain't see nothing but green grass. I was playing dirty. I chop blocked. But as you can see, I get this outside zone, and I break a tackle, and this DB knocked my buckles loose. God almighty. I continue to run hard and be behind my team. Going with the inside zone right up the middle, I go in for my first touchdown of the game. You see me being effective out of that backfield. Again, I catch the ball and take it up the field for a couple yards. This DB just wrapped around my neck and almost choked me. But I didn't get this Alabama defense a break. I was pounding it down their throat all night. That inside zone was working. That offensive line was anchoring down, and we were just moving that ball. As you see, I'm a down here runner, so I'm going to come with it. But this time, the DB came with it and knocked my buckles loose. So I said, no, I like that. I like when they come with it. So run it back. So we hurried up and tempoed them and ran it again, and I'll run it in for a touchdown to take the game to 14-17. And I want all the smoke. So coach gave us a stretch play, and I broke loose, and I had one man to beat, and I spent the wrong way. The safety came down to slow me down, and the rest of the team rallied to the ball and tackled. It's fourth quarter, 3rd and 7, and we need this right here. And we're up 21-17, and the quarterback gets Saban's over there writing something up, and I'm just trying to figure out why didn't he throw it fast. So Alabama goes down to score, and we need to score. We have one more play, and the quarterback throws it up. It tips, and I almost catch it, but I drop the ball, and we lose the game. Number 1 Alabama goes on and beat us. And I ended the game off of 21 carries, 147 yards, and 2 rushing TDs. So going into our next game against Texas A&M, we started off intense. I was finding holes early, staying behind my blocks and gaining yards. But going into the next play, as you can see, I hit this defender with a juke and keep going. I know this defender felt me. I laid the boom on him. I'm just in my head like, we need this game if we want to go to that championship. And with that being said, I kept my foot on that pedal, and they was trying to bring me down, but it wouldn't be easy. I get outside zone, bounce it back inside, and break a tackle, and they laid the boom on me. That doesn't do anything but fire me up, so I go in with the first touchdown of the game. And I was telling them that this is my house. This is my house. Every time I touched the ball, I was getting a first down. So going into this read option, I just catch a burst of speed and burst out and break out, and I'm gone, but then I get home. I'm fired up, and I want all of the smoke. I tell them they better come with it because I want this game and I need this game. As you can see, I'm a threat out of that backfield. I catch the ball for the second catch of the game and take it in for a touchdown. And let's go. But it's 28-28, and Texas A&M drive down the field with 7 seconds left, and they kick the field goal to win the game. I'm just in distraught, and I'm hurt because we really need this game to try to go to the championship. But we get one more play, and I am wide open, and he doesn't throw the ball. And I'm confused, and this is the second. With that loss, we fell short, and we did not get to go to the championship. With that being said, I was the runner-up for the Heisman, and I did not win the Heisman. But as you can see, I go on to win the Robert Maxwell Award. And I also win the Walter Camp Award. And I also win the Doak Walker Award. And I go on to get the Johnny the Jet Rogers Award. And the decision is up. Will I be back with LSU for my sophomore season in college? Comment down below what you think is going to happen.